Hi everyone, let's build a Warmoth Tele. In this segment, we'll be assembling the control plate. First, let's take a look at the parts that we'll be using. Here's the control plate. The material covering it is somewhat of a thick masking tape. Keeps it nice and shiny and prevents any scratches during shipping. You'll easily be able to tell which side is up because it's going to be smoother and shinier. You could really blind somebody in the audience with that. It's pretty shiny. I bet you could check your makeup in that before you go on stage. Next, we'll go ahead and open up our potentiometers. These are CTS 250K pots directly from Warmoth. These are not necessarily the potentiometers I would have chosen. They're not classic for the Telecaster. In fact, you can see the shaft is probably long enough to fit in some Les Paul style guitars. But it does come with two nuts, so it shims the pot down in the cavity so it's not sticking way out above the guitar, getting broken off and stabbing you. Here you see on the left the nut and smooth washer that will go on top of the control plate. On the right there's another nut and a lock washer that will go under the control plate. Now when you first look at it, it seems like you're going to be able to get away with putting the nut about here. But then, let's say you have the thickness of two more washers and the nut again. Well, you're running out of room for that plate in there. It's not going to quite work. If you put it here, you're not going to have enough room for that plate. Bring it down here, still not enough room. You're going to wind up with that bottom nut about midway on the shaft to wind up having enough room for all those washers and the extra nut. This is about where you want it. Go ahead and rotate this potentiometer's tabs away from the control switch. For the top nut, you'll be using the standard righty-tighty, lefty-loosey mnemonic. For the bottom nut, remember we'll be tightening it towards the control plate, so in this case we'll actually be turning it lefty, also tighty. In other words, the top nut clockwise, the bottom nut counterclockwise. Next we'll install our CRL switch. It's a three-way Telecaster switch. This is the classic Telecaster switch, still made in the USA. As far as I can tell, the same way they used to be. This is one part you don't need to buy vintage. Installation is pretty simple. Just use the included machine screws, get it tightened down to the plate. Once you have it finger tight, go ahead and tighten them down the rest of the way. Take some care not to scratch the chrome in your shiny new control plate. Grab out our other potentiometer here. This one we're going to face the tabs towards the other potentiometer so there's room to fit in the tele cavity. We already know where we need our bottom nut. Just match it so it's the same height from the control plate. We don't have staggered knobs when we're finished. Put our lock washer on, then our smooth washer, then our second nut. Make sure you get it the pretty side up. And tighten it on down, righty-tighty on top, lefty-tighty on the bottom. Make sure they're still facing each other. Get them good and tight there. You don't want these twisting all around when you try to use them later. Alright, looks like we're all set. The assembly fits in the cavity comfortably. We'll get the screw holes drilled and install that later. Up next, we'll be installing the strap lock buttons. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of the day.